Dear students, Salam Alaikum. This is topic 14, sequences and series. In the course Math 200 Calculus 2 for the semester Spring 2020-2021. Today we shall look at the topic sequences in some detail. Now let's first know what is a sequence. See, in mathematics, a sequence is a list of numbers or even functions occasionally, and the order is important. In the list, the order is important, and we shall do a sequence of numbers today and not functions, but we can have it both ways or either ways. Now, an example, there are many sequences. One example of a sequence is sequence of even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8. Then it will continue. The formula is 2n, and then it will again continue. The formula is n equal to 2n, put n equal to 1, you will get 2, n equal to 2, 2 into 2, 4, n equal to 3, 2 into 3, 6. So your first term is 2, second term is 4, third term is 6, fourth is 8, nth term is 2n. The sequence continues to infinity. Now sequence of odd numbers, n equal to 2n minus 1 is the formula. The sequence is put n equal to 1, you will get 1. N equal to 2, 2 to the 4, minus 1, 3. N equal to 3, 3 to the 6, minus 1, 5. And the sequence continues 1, 3, 5, 7. And the formula is 2n minus 1, and it continues up to infinity. In these two sequences of even numbers and odd numbers, we have a clear-cut formula. There are many sequences which have formulae, and there are many sequences which do not have a formula. And people are still hunting formulae for important sequences. I'll give you just one example, sequence of prime numbers. Prime numbers are divisible by themselves and 1 and nothing else. The first few prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59. It goes on up to infinity. There is no known formula. And there are some theorems which tells what kind of formula can exist and what kind of formula cannot exist. But in the last 2,500 years, the best minds from the history of mathematics and physics have tried to look for the formula. People from computer science have tried to look for the formula, but they could never find a formula, and the hunt is still on. You can also try looking for the formula, but polynomial formulas do not work. And there is a theorem which says it does not have a polynomial formula. Now what's the notation for sequences? The notation is a1, a2, a3, dot. That means it will continue. Then it will have an. An may or may not have a formula. It is a style of writing. And for even numbers, we can write it as 2, 4, 6, 8. Now many times it is useful to write it using the set theoretic notation, using curly braces or flower brackets as we call them, and you put all the numbers separated by a comma in the flower brackets. Now many sequences, the sequences which we are going to do will have a formula given in the question. So you don't have to worry about those sequences which do not have a formula. Today we will not discuss about series, we will talk only about sequences. Now we have to learn two words, convergence and divergence. We also use the other grammar, convergent and divergent. Now by convergence in English, in ordinary English, convergence means to come together, come to a focus, have a same opinion. In divergence means to differ, to move in two different directions, not agree. That means divergence. In mathematics, we have a definition of a convergence, and there is a direct definition for convergence, and there is an indirect definition of divergence. Now first let's look at the direct definition of convergence. Now let's take the formula an and take the limit n going to infinity. N is going to plus infinity because n is like a variable. Instead of x, we will be using a discrete variable called n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N is your set of your natural numbers. And when you take the limit n going to infinity of the formula an, you get some limit L. You may get a limit, you may not get a limit. If you get a limit L and if L is finite, then we say the sequence is convergent. So it is very important. The limit should exist and it should be finite. And then we say the sequence converges to that value of that finite limit L. L can be a negative number excuse me, or it can be a positive number, and many times it is 0 also. So all three are possible: negative number, 0 and positive number. But it cannot be infinite. It has to be a finite number. The finite number can be big and small depending on the situation and the human perception. Big and small are human perceptions. Now for divergence, there is no direct definition. The definition is a sequence which is not convergent is called divergent. A sequence which is not convergent is called divergence. Under what situation can it be divergent? You take the limit, you get plus or minus infinity. Instead of a finite number, you get either plus infinity or minus infinity. Here the finite number can be big. It can be 1 million, 1 billion, 200 billion, something like that. But it cannot be infinite. Here the limit is plus or minus infinity. This is one type of divergence. Another type of divergence is the limit does not exist. Let's look at one example each. Now let's consider a sequence of perfect square. An equal to n square, n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will get 1, 2 square equal to 4, 3 square equal to 9, 4 square equal to 16, 5 square equal to 25. It goes on up to infinity, and the formula is an equal to n square. The second type example is the limit does not exist. See, when we studied limits in the first chapter of Calculus 1, we saw many examples where the limit does not exist. Now, one example of such a sequence is the day-night sequence. Plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1. We do not write the plus, it is 1, minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1, minus 1. Now, the formula is minus 1 to the power of n plus 1. Now, if you try to take the limit n going to infinity, you will get minus 1 to the power of infinity. Now, infinity is neither odd nor even. See, if it is even, then you get minus 1. If it is odd, you get plus 1. But infinity cannot be assigned an odd value or an even value. It is neither odd nor even. So we cannot be sure whether the nth term for n large, arbitrarily large, n going to infinity is plus 1 or minus 1. So the limit does not exist, but the sequence is finite, because the sequence is either plus 1 or minus 1. So it is bounded by the closed interval minus 1 comma 1. But the limit does not exist, so it diverges. So it is called bounded divergence. We do not need that extra adjective today. It is divergent. And this diverges to infinity. So this English is very important. The sequence diverges to plus infinity. Here the sequence converges to plus L or minus L, whatever the values. The limit is L, the L can be negative or positive. We will say the sequence converges to L. Now, these are the things. There are more formal definitions of convergence and divergence, but we will not look into it. We do not need a very mathematical definition. The idea is just sufficient for us to do some simple questions. Now, what are the simple questions? Before we look at the simple questions, let's remember the 5 results from the limit. Now, limit of n going to infinity of n is infinity. See, your function y equal to n or f of n equal to n, instead of x we are using n, a discrete variable. Limit n going to infinity is infinity. Limit of ln n, logarithm natural n going to infinity is infinity. See, the difficulty with the logarithmic function is it grows very slowly. if you take ln 10, it is 2.3025. If you take 10 billion, ln of 10 billion is 23.025, something like that. So even if you take 10 power 100 in your calculator, the biggest possible number 9.99 into 10 power 99, you will get 230.25. So it grows very slowly, but it goes to infinity. And this historically there are some interesting anecdotes about it. The third limit which you should know is, and we have used in calculus 1 extensively, is limit 1 over n going to infinity is 0. Excuse me. See, infinity is like a very, very big number, beyond human imagination. When you divide 1 by a big number, you obtain a small number. 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. 1 divided by 1000 is 0.001. So it becomes small and small. So in the limit, it goes to 0. Then the fourth function is the exponential function e power n, where e is that special number, transcendental number, 2.71828, 1828, and there are many numbers after that. So e power n going to infinity is infinity. This function grows very rapidly, and it is for positive n, and here n is positive, so it goes to plus infinity. For example, e power 3 is 20, e power 4 is 54 point something, and it's 20 point something, okay, and e power 5 is 148 point something, e power 23 is 10 billion, and e power 230 is 10 power 100. So it grows very, very rapidly. This grows slowly. The logarithmic function, the exponential function, grows very fast for positive x, and we say the growth is exponential. When n is negative, then the function decays very fast, and it goes to, as n goes to minus infinity, it goes to 0, and your x-axis is your horizontal asymptote for this function. But anyway, n is positive. Now the fifth one is the last thing, e power minus n. N is positive, it will decay very fast, and it will go to here. It is growing, here it is decaying. So these are the two, fourth and fifth are interrelated, but I wrote them separately for our easy understanding. So these 5 limits will be useful in today's topics which we are doing today, the type of questions we are doing today. There are many other limits we do not need. There are limits involving sine and cosine functions, tangent function, and all the 6 trigonometric functions. We do not need them today here, but you will need them in some other topics later on. In today's topic, we will be doing algebraic limits with the help of these 5 basic limits. Now let's look at a scenario where we have to use a new rule called L'Hopital rule. The S and the H both are silent, you call it L'Hopital rule. Now if the limit of the fraction f divided by g, x going to a, okay, it is going to a, not 0, it is x is going to a, you can write it as limit of f, x going to a, divided by limit of g of x, x going to a. This you can always do. It has nothing to do with the L'Hopital rule. This bifurcation of writing a limit of a fraction equal to fraction of the two limits, this you can always do mathematically, but sometimes it is useful, sometimes it is not useful. We will notice this in the problems which we are going to do. Now if the ratio of the two limits is of the type 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, you can get plus or minus infinity by infinity. Infinity by infinity is not equal to 1, 0 by 0 is also not equal to 1. Do not make that mistake. We have to formally take the limits with all the steps written. So if it is 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, including plus minus, okay, here also you have plus minus 0 by 0, but we do not write plus minus because 0 is 0. Whether it is plus 0 or minus 0, both are same almost all the time. In some areas of calculus, when we are talking about left limit and right limit, then we write 0 superscript plus and minus. So anyway, you can have 0 by 0 or plus minus infinity by infinity. If this is the situation, then you can write limit of the fraction f by g is equal to limit of the derivative of f divided by derivative of g. You can write the full derivative df by dx, or you can write f prime. This prime means first derivative because we have put 1 prime. So you can take the limit of the ratio of the two functions as the limit of the ratio of two derivatives. You can do this only excuse me, when you have the limit of 0 by 0 type or plus or minus infinity by infinity type. We shall do both of them in the exercises shortly. Now problem number 1. Evaluate the following and determine if the sequence AN converges or diverges. So it's good to write the sequence in this set theoretic notation. Flower braces. Do not put any other type of bracket like the square bracket or the round bracket. Use the flower braces. Converges or diverges. So you have to take the limit and then proceed. Your first step is to write limit a of n going to infinity. An is given to you you can also write a of n also, a bracket n, but we'll be using this notation a subscript n. Copy the formula from the question and take the limit. There are different ways to take the limit. You can choose any method of using the limit. Now this is 5n square plus 8n minus 3 divided by 3n square minus 3n plus 2. This formula is given in the question. Now take the limit. Now how do we took the limit in the calculus 1? In calculus 1 we had divided it by n square because n square is the highest power. So you will get 5 plus 8 by n minus 3 by n square in the numerator. In the denominator you will get 3 minus 3 by n plus 2 by n square. Now take the limit of the numerator and the denominator separately. In many situations this idea works, but sometimes it doesn't work. Now take the limit. There are three things. Take limit one at a time. Again, this idea will work most of the time. Mathematically it is correct, but sometimes it is not useful. So limit of 5 plus limit of 8 by n plus limit by 3 by n square, n going to infinity. Take it one at a time. Limit of a number n going to infinity is, number is alone, so the limit is 5. 8 divided by a big number is a small number, so in the limit you will get 0. Remember the plus. Now 3 divided by square of a big number. Imagine infinity to be a very big number. 3 divided by square of a big number will be very small, smaller than 8 by n. So you will get plus 0 and there is a minus sign. You will get 5 plus 0 minus 0. Same thing will happen in the denominator. You will get 3 minus 0 plus 0, which is equal to 5 by 3. So the limit exists and the value of the limit is 5 by 3. So the sequence converges. What is the definition of convergence? The limit should exist and should have a finite value. So limit is exists and the value of the limit is 5 by 3. So the sequence converges to 5 by 3. Sometimes the limit does not exist. Then it is divergent. Sometimes the limit exists but it is plus or minus infinity. So 5 by 3 is a finite number. If you get a finite limit, then the sequence converges to that finite number which is equal to the limit. This is very important. You have to write the full sentence. The sequence converges. See, I am talking about sequences. By mistake I might say series sometimes, but it is sequence. The sequence converges to 5 by 3. This full English sentence is required in your exams and in your reports. Problem number 2. Evaluate the following and determine if the sequence AN converges or diverges. This is the standard English for this type of questions. Now what is the formula for AN? AN equal to square root of the fraction, and the fraction is 4n minus 3 divided by n plus 1. Now your first step is to take the limit n going to infinity of AN. How much is AN? Square root of 4n minus 3 divided by n plus 1. Now the fraction has a power half. Power half is a square root. The power can be taken after taking the limit. You can interchange the order. So you first take the limit, then take the square root. Square root means power half. You can do it for any other power. Now you have limit of a fraction inside the square root, but do not forget the square root in the steps. 4n minus 3, last question we divided by n square, divide by n, you will get 4 minus 3 by n divided by 1 plus 1 by n. Then take the numerator separately, denominator separately. You will get 4 minus 0 divided by 1 plus 0, which is 4 divided by 1, and remember the square root. Square root of 4 by 1 is square root of 4. How much is square root of 4? Plus 2. We are not solving equations, so take the positive square root only. So square root of 4 is 2 for us in this type of question. Now I put it as a note also, take only the positive square root. The sequence converges, the limit exists, it is finite and equal to 2, the sequence converges to 2, full stop. So your answer is just one word answer, the sequence converges or diverges. Is it day or night? Your answer is only one, day or night. So sequence converges to what? It converges to the value 2. Problem number 3. Evaluate the following and determine if the sequence an converges or diverges. Now what's the formula? An equal to ln n divided by n, logarithm natural n divided by n. Now start the procedure. Take the limit n going to infinity of the formula for an, which is ln n by n. Now separate the numerator and the denominator. Numerator is ln n, denominator is n. Now separate the two and take the limit. Now look at those 5 limits on page 2 of these notes. You will get infinity by infinity. Do not make a mistake of cancelling the infinity and putting it equal to 1. Infinity by infinity is not equal to 1. So use the L'Hopital rule. Now take the thing. What is the L'Hopital rule? You take the limit. Now you have one limit in the numerator, one limit in the denominator. One function in the numerator, one function in the denominator. Now take the derivative of both the functions. Derivative of the numerator separately, derivative of the denominator separately, which are inside the limit. Both have to be of the limit has to be of the type infinity by infinity or 0 by 0. Otherwise you cannot use L'Hopital rule. Now what the derivative of ln x? It is 1 by x. Here n is like x, so the derivative is 1 by n in the case of numerator. In the denominator, n is like x, so x is like n. So the derivative of x is with respect to x 1. So derivative of n with respect to n is 1. So your limit is limit 1 by n going to infinity, full divided by limit 1 n going to infinity. See, it's better to combine the two limits. In this question it does not matter, but in some questions it can matter. So 1 by n divided by 1. So how much do you get? You get 1 by n. Take the limit 1 divided by n. This is the first standard limit on page 2. It is 0. 1 divided by big number is a small number. In the limit you will get 0. So there is a finite limit and the value of the limit is 0. The sequence converges to 0. So that is your English. So by mistake, if you had done infinity by infinity equal to 1, your answer would be wrong. What we can say is the ln n function grows much slower than the function n. So numerator is slower than the denominator. That's why you get 1 by n and it is equal to 0. That is one way of looking at it. You can look at the graph also. X-axis is an asymptote for this function. Please, I have written the differentiation rule. Derivative of ln u is 1 by u into du by dx, or in the short form you can write u prime by u. Now derivative of ln ax is derivative of ax divided by ax. Derivative of ax is a into 1, which is divided by ax. The a gets cancelled and you get 1 by x. So those who do not remember the properties of logarithms can look at it like this, and those who know the properties of logarithms can look at it in a different way, which I will not discuss right now. Problem number 4. Evaluate the following and determine the sequence an converges or diverges. Please do not try to guess the answer. An equal to ln bracket 6n divided by ln 3n. Guessing is okay, but it can lead to a wrong guess, so you have to be careful. Better to write down all the steps. Limit n going to infinity of an is limit n going to infinity. The fraction is two functions ln 6n divided by ln 3n. Now you take the limit of the numerator and the denominator separately. You will get infinity by infinity. Refer to that third limit on your page 2. Limit of ln n is n going to infinity is infinity. So even 6n, it will be infinity. It will be more than ln n and it will be little bit more than this this thing, you know what I am talking about. You just plot the graphs, you'll understand it better. So it is of the type infinity by infinity. So let's use the L'Hopital rule. Now what is the L'Hopital rule? It is take the derivative of the function in the numerator and in the denominator. Now we have just now seen that derivative of ln 6n will be 1 by n and derivative of ln 3n will be 1 by n. The 3 and the 6 will get cancelled. You can see the rule here. Derivative of ln ax is 1 by x. So derivative of ln an will be 1 by n. The a gets cancelled. So it does not matter whether a is 3, 6 or 10 or 100. You will get limit 1 by n in the numerator and limit 1 by n in the denominator, n going to infinity in each case. Now combine the two limits, limit of n going to infinity 1 by n divided by 1 by n. You will get limit of 1 n going to infinity, and 1 is alone, there is no n here, so it is 1. We have seen this kind of limits before. So what's the limit? Limit exists. First of all, the limit should exist and it should be finite. 1 is a finite number, so the sequence converges to 1. I have highlighted it for you here. Now problem 5, it is similar to problem 1 which we have already done, but let me repeat it for you. The formula is an is the ratio of two quantities, two functions, 5n cube plus 4n minus 20 divided by 2n cube minus 3n plus 11. You can guess the limit here, but let's do all the steps. Your first step is to write limit an n going to infinity. Copy the formula from the question given to you. Now divide by n cube. The highest power is n cube, so divide by n cube. You'll get in the numerator 5 plus 4 by n square minus 20 by n cube. In the denominator it is 2 minus 3 over n square plus 11 over n cube. Now take the limit of the numerator and the denominator separately. This idea works almost all the time for the kind of questions we are doing. Now the limit is 5 plus 0 minus 0 divided by 2 minus 0 plus 0. See, these signs are very important. They should be 5 plus 0 minus 0. When we are analyzing these sequences graphically and by some other techniques, these plus minuses are important, so put them correctly. Don't think that 5 by 2 is the answer. It is 5 plus 0 minus 0 divided by 2 minus 0 plus 0. It is 5 by 2. Do not write 2.5. Now the limit exists and the value of the limit is 5 by 2, so the sequence converges to 5 by 2, full stop. Now problem number 6. Evaluate the following and determine if the sequence an converges or diverges. What's the formula? An equal to ln n divided by root n. Now some of you can smartly guess the answer to be 0, but let's work it out. Now let's take the limit of the fraction, which you can write limit of the numerator, limit for the denominator. You will get infinity by infinity. Go to page 2. You will be using the limits, standard limits from there. Now it is of the type infinity by infinity, so let's use the L'Hopital rule. Now what does the L'Hopital rule tell us? It tells that you can take the limit of the function in the numerator derivative. Take the derivative of the function in the numerator and derivative of the function in the denominator. Two different derivatives, two different functions, two different derivatives. Now derivative of ln n is 1 by n, derivative of root n is 1 by 2 root n. Now how do you get that? Derivative of root n is n power half, derivative half minus 1, half into n power half minus 1, you will get half into n power minus half, which is equal to 1 over 2 root n. You can look at the middle steps if you need to. Now you will get 1 by n divided by 1 by 2 root n. Now invert the denominator fraction, you will get 1 by n, dot means multiplication, 2 into root n by 1. You will get 2 root n divided by n, which is equal to 2 by root n. Then take the limit, you will get 0. So the limit exists and its value is 0. By mistake, if you had thought that infinity by infinity is equal to 1, that would be a blunder. Please do not make that kind of mistakes, that infinity by infinity 0 by 0 is 1. There are sometimes they appear to be 1, but that's not always the case. You have to do all the algebra all the limits, L'Hopital rule and some other rules if needed, and conclude. So the limit exists and its value is 0, so the sequence is said to be convergent to 0. Look at this differentiation if you need to. Now the last question is easier than the first question. Evaluate the following and determine if the sequence an converges or diverges. What is the sequence? An equal to fraction 2n minus 1 over 3n plus 1. Now this question is easier than the other two questions. Divide by n, you get 2 minus 1 by n in the numerator. In the denominator it is 3 plus 1 by n. Take the limit of the numerator and the denominator and see if it works. You get 2 minus 0 divided by 3 plus 0, which is 2 by 3. The limit exists. First and foremost, the limit should exist and it should have a finite value. 2 by 3 is a finite value, so we can say the sequence converges to 2 by 3. You can look at this video again, look at the notes in the Moodle, and if you have any answers, any questions, let me know. We'll discuss these things in the class, and these questions are similar to the questions on page 532 of your book, on your textbook, the Thomas's Calculus. See you soon inshallah in the class. Assalamu alaikum.